Stan Gibilisco here, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1 Good Vibrations at your service. A viewer has asked in particular about how to connect a transceiver or power supply for a transceiver to the automotive electrical system when you want to operate mobile. Now, I'm assuming that that you are in the United States, where most vehicles have a 12-volt battery. Actually, this battery is 12 volts. Nominally 12.6 volts. But when you have the alternator charging the battery, it's a little bit higher voltage that you see at your radio. And a lot of radios have a little display that shows what the voltage that they're getting is. I know that both of my Yaesu radios have them. Now, when you connect a radio to a vehicle power supply, the best way to do it is to connect that power supply directly to the vehicle battery. Black wire. Well, now I've got these reversed. By golly. The absent-minded professor strikes again. If you do that, the fuses will blow, by the way, both of them. Here is your negative, here is your positive. Black wire goes to the negative battery terminal. The plus is a red wire that goes to the positive battery terminal. You need to keep these wires as short as possible. Make them as heavy a gauge as possible, preferably number 10 or heavier. But the more current this radio draws, the heavier gauge the wire is going to have to be. In general, a lot of amperes get drawn, about in excess of 20 amperes for a radio that produces 200 watts. So you can get quite a wallop when it comes to 200 watts input, the 100 watts output. I know my Yaesu FT857D produces up to 100 watts of output, and it draws 22 amperes. Key down, CW at 100 watts output, and that's a lot. So you need to make sure that your fuses are of the right value. I guess 25 amp fuses here would be good, maybe 30 amp. Designed for the 12 volts, and you need to be sure to fuse both the negative and the positive leads. And most well-designed, commercially manufactured transceivers have these cables with fuses in both sides. You need to be sure you watch out for intermittent connections to these fuses, by the way. I've had a transceiver seem to go dead only because there was an intermittent connection in the fuse holder in one of these fuses. Evidently the wire was not quite in there right or something. But that kind of thing happens. But that's the way to do this. I actually, with my radio, use an entirely separate battery. I use a marine battery, entirely separated from the vehicle electrical system, so that I have no issues with alternator whine and things like that getting into the radio by means of these cables. I think that's a pretty good way to go, actually. It's served me well. You just have to remember to bring that marine battery indoors when it's going to get really, really cold in your vehicle on a winter night. In the black holes of South Dakota, United States of advertising, or anywhere else where winters reign supreme. Stan Gibilisco, W1GV, signing off for now, saying 73, which means best regards, and so long.